Welcome to the 544 Port Podcast. We're your hosts,
Bill Wisberg.
Chuck Libertor, coming to you live every Friday at 5:44 when our episodes drop. So we had an interesting show last week there, Bill. We had no guests, but we still had a lot of fun talking.
It's always good to catch up and hang out, no matter what happens.
Right. Yeah. But we do have two people lined up this week, so I'll log on. Hope they got the instructions and they'll be catching up. I think and everybody will probably enjoy the two people we have. It'll be a little different show, but I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
It'll be good. I'm glad this show didn't get hijacked.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Beginning of the show.
Yeah, like last week's. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to these two guests. Actually, get some perspective.
I agree. Like a different perspective, hopefully. So
different perspective. Yes. So, how was your week?
Pretty good. I'm trying to think. We just had some more sports. We had some lacrosse tournaments last weekend. Nothing like there were lacrosse tournaments, but you just play 3 games. So nice. Logan and Liam talked a little bit about that the previous week. So play 3 games. I think we won all 3 of these games.
That's awesome.
They were a little more evenly matched. Actually, we went. I think we lost first because we played Peters, and they're like a division above us. I think we are 2A, 3 or 4. They're one division.
Where's the tournament
at? This one was up at Seneca Valley. I don't know if you've ever been up on their sports or school complex.
Haven't.
Pretty crazy. Like they have, it's our school, but they have a campus theme similar to Alsop. There's a couple schools on the campus, but they have a huge sports complex. So I think they have like 3 turf fields. They have like their actual high school field, which is a stadium, but then they have 2 other side turf fields, baseball fields, aquatic center. That's pretty nice. I mean, it's a nice set.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I've never been there. I know Peters has a nice setup. I've been there recently, and Bethel Park has a really nice gym.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bethel Park's gym is pretty cool. It's like those ones where you go down into it.
Yeah.
Like steps you come into the top. It's almost like the old pit stadium kind of thing.
Exactly. And it has a big scoreboard in the middle.
Right.
Very cool. Yeah.
Seems like it's a college-ish type of, they built that. That's pretty neat.
Gotta love the porch gym though, too. The deep baselines, wide bleachers, the old wood, the old, the steel structure at the top, I'm a big fan.
I gotta say, I don't know that I've been to McKeesport's gym since they changed, like, the founders, like, since the whole big restructuring of the high school, like, since we played, since back then.
I've been. Okay. It's the same. It's the same gym.
And they haven't changed the gym. Okay, so they didn't know. They still have the one bleacher side that's like the house band bleachers that were in the one end zone.
Yep. They still have that. I don't think the band sits there anymore. At least, actually, I take that back. Maybe for boys' games. I was at a girls' game, so I don't know. Because the girls play there now. They don't play over in.
They always play in Southland.
Yes. No, so the girls play there now. It was packed. It was a great game. No band though underneath that I recall.
Okay.
But yeah, I love the old school feel. It's almost, I don't know, I think of like Hoosiers. It's got like Hoosiers feel to it, like the old gym.
Bleachers, old wooden still, like wooden bleachers.
Yeah, as far as I can remember.
Yep. Right.
Or I don't know if it's just ingrained in my head from how many times we've been in there. But that's just what I think.
Yeah, it's probably so. But you'll go back. We'll go back this year, and it's like, nope, all plastic.
Nope.
Totally different. We're just living in our like nostalgia dreams of what it is.
This is what I see. I see the banners still hanging from the rafters, and hopefully not. I don't know. Keep the nostalgia factor.
Yeah. How about you? Anything sports wise? Probably Liam had you running everywhere.
He did. He had a soccer tournament. Kind of the same thing. It was the finale of the soccer season. So they had like 3 games in one day. They did good. They had a really good team, from as good as you could have, and I guess 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah.
They kind of same thing. They finished the day 3-0, and a lot of fun, and got to meet some new kids on his team. So yeah, I think he really enjoyed playing. Fun. I'm sure he'll play again. Now we're into, we're still doing flag football and basketball. Just started. Signed him up to play basketball at the WOA.
Oh, nice.
The White Oak Athletic Association. So it's his first practice this Saturday. Actually, tomorrow.
Right.
So I'll be curious to see how that goes for him. He's not going to know any kids, so, but he likes to play. So we'll see how he does, how he likes it.
Are you coaching?
I'm not. I refuse to coach him anytime soon. I think he needs to learn to listen to other people, other coaches, and figure out what it's like to be coached. He's a good kid. He listens to me most of the time anyway. And he's going to listen to me if I coach him. I want him to be able to learn and listen to other people.
Right.
And then,
I think that's great.
Yeah. So, and they probably
great advice and great philosophy. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Let him learn from them and let him learn from different techniques. So we'll see. Hopefully, as long as he's having fun and liking it right now, I'm happy.
Yeah. That's the age you want. You want him to just get into it, learn some things. Like you said, learn how to be a teammate, learn how to play, learn how to be coached.
Exactly.
I would always, like when it's usually like Savannah, like they'd sign up. I never wanted to be the head coach. I'd always just be like, I'll be an assistant because I'm going to be taking her to practice. So if they need a hand, sure. Like I'm going to be there, especially when they're young. You had to like stay there and wait.
Right.
And then I think 2 years in a row, like the head coach just either didn't show or backed out or emailed me like 2 days beforehand. Like, hey, sorry, things came up. I can't. And I got tricked into being the head coach 2 years in a row. And then after that, I was like, I might as well just be the head coach because this is going to happen again. Or like, I'm just not going to like the coach. So like then I ended up coaching the rest of her time. Coach, I'm trying to think of Logan played mainly baseball. He played a little bit of basketball. I think I coached too much baseball.
Right.
I think I did more assistant. The head coach, I think I did more girls.
Gotcha. I'd be okay helping football and basketball.
Right.
Baseball, I'd be useless. And soccer, I'm useless. I don't even know how many people are supposed to be on the field at one time in soccer.
Yeah. Soccer.
They got to kick it in the goal. I don't know. Yeah. So
our kids played they played soccer when they're younger. It's like when it got to the point where it started getting organized, that's when they dropped it. So like same with baseball, it was like baseball and t-ball. Once it got to the point where it was like, if you're no good, you're not playing, or where your like lot is, they're like, he's out. Yeah, I just started narrowing it down. So,
but my wife, Jana, my wife played soccer all through. So she like is telling him like they have like these these throw-ins. And I don't understand still. They're in basketball too. This thing it drives me crazy a little bit, but it's part of the culture, I guess, of soccer. So and maybe this is a Norwin thing, or I don't know, maybe it's a soccer thing. So, all right. So the ball's coming in basketball, playing man-to-man defense. What are you yelling to your guys?
On like if I'm on defense or on offense?
You're on defense. Yeah, and you're the coach.
I'm on coach.
Yeah.
Like between your man and the hoop. Basically.
Yeah, but like, what are you telling them to do?
Watch their guy, the man-to-man defense.
Yeah, but like another saying for watch your guys.
Man up.
Sure. Another you're closer. Like I would yell, pick up, right?
Yeah. Pick up your guys. Yeah.
Right. So in soccer, they yell mark up. And I'm like, I'm like, that's the same as pickup. I'm like, why don't you guys just say pick up your guy? I don't know. I've heard pick up. I've never heard mark up. So like when they say it, I have like spasms on the sideline. I'm like, it's like the same as pick up your guys. Like
pick up.
Yeah. But they say mark up.
Sure.
Which I've never heard before.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in theory, you're not really picking up a person. Like, I mean, in their argument, if they're like soccer people, like, why would you say pick them up?
But why are you marking? Are you bringing out with a Sharpie?
I'm saying neither of them really makes sense. Like, what do you like when you say pick up your guy? To us, it makes sense. We played basketball, so different all the time.
Yeah.
But for the person not to the sport, they'd be like, "What do you mean pick them up? Like, am I grabbing them? Like, what am I doing?"
The markup makes no sense to me either.
No, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it's just trying to like give Chan a little.
Yes. Yeah.
For our soccer listeners.
Yes. So if you're a soccer fan, feel free to call in and explain it to me. Why you mark up and not pick up? Maybe it's a European thing. It's like metric and standard. I don't know.
I mean, they call it football, not soccer. Also,
that's true.
I mean,
that's true. Maybe they mark up in football. I don't know.
Football. Maybe this should be a football show. Maybe we'll just start talking about football.
Start talking about that. I don't know. There's some weird things they do. I don't understand it, but yeah. So anyway, that's my.
Maybe you'll get used to it. Maybe if he likes it, plays it. I bet there'll be a time in the future if he's playing in high school. You're yelling mark up.
I will
mark
it down right now. I will never yell mark up. I will yell pick up.
I don't know.
Will I yell mark up?
You might.
Pick it up. Pick up. Pick up somebody. Pick up your man. Go.
Pick up your man. Yeah. Pick up your man. So, can't wait for all of our listeners to weigh in on this.
Yes. So I usually get a text from Jason Urosic. I don't know if you know Jason Urosic.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. He usually comments on our show. I think he might have played soccer. So I'll be curious for him to weigh in with a text message.
Yeah.
And shout out to Jason Uresic for being a long-time listener.
Awesome. That's what we should. Maybe we should start doing calls. Maybe we should start like going live and letting people call in. Maybe that'd be. Maybe we'll do season 2. Season 2.
Season 2. Will there be a season 2?
I mean, hopefully. I mean, I don't know. Like look at our stats. Our listenership has trailed off a little bit these last few weeks. I feel like the novelty after our reunion show. I feel like all of our big group of listeners, maybe we can build up to the reunion, and then it just like died off. So
I don't know.
We might have to build up these next couple episodes.
We had a couple good callers or guests coming in the next couple weeks. So
right.
So hopefully we'll build back up.
Yeah, we'll see. We need to get something through the playoffs here, get us through the playoffs, and then pick it up. We'll see if we win it all. Then I feel like maybe that's a sign we should keep going.
I would say that's a good sign. I would agree with that.
So, speaking of, I didn't realize how short the playoffs are now. When I was looking at it, like just things for like Thanksgiving, I was like planning out Thanksgiving. Dee was talking about possibly going up to Jersey. I was like, oh, if McKeesport's, like down at extra stadium, I don't know how that's gonna fly. And then one of my teachers, TJ, we were just talking about things. She's like, no, we didn't get a bye. Like it's basically this week, next week, and it's the championship. I was like, what? Like it's like the 16th, like the weekend of 16th. I thought it was crazy how quick
it is quick. It's it's 3 weeks. I think it's 18. It's only 8 teams, right? That's it.
Yeah. There's no buys. There's only 8 teams. Like there was no extra like wild cards or things like that. Because then South Fayette made it, even though they had like a losing. They're like maybe 4th or 5th in their division, and they made it as a wild card. So there was like 4 buys, I think, this week. Like I think they're 5.
They 5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're 5. So there's a lot more teams, I guess, obviously.
Right.
That make it. But I also think it's a ripoff that if we go, we have to go play at Norwin Stadium. Like they're not even going down to Acrisure. Like
is that? I know they were going to start to rotate it. Is that kicking in this year?
Yeah. Like why Norwin? Like no offense, guys. I mean,
selfishly,
you feel
good about that.
It's a shorter drive home than Acrisure, but
I need a place where we can tailgate.
Yeah, I just feel like the thing of like going to the championship is going down to a big stadium field. I don't know. 100%. I think that's get ripped off.
I do. I agree. And in the past, like the last, and don't quote me on this, 3, 4, 5 years, they would always put the 5A and 6A games at Norwin.
Did they? Okay.
They did. Now, are they switching it to the 4s as well? Or are we talking 5A for South Oak?
No, I'm talking about 4 from McKeesport. I'm saying like if McKeesport goes, they're going to be playing at Norwin.
And I think they were going to start to cycle through. You're right. Like it's not fair that like the 5A and 6A have to go to Norwin. So I think they were going to start. So maybe it's 3 and 4 this year, or at Norwin, and then next year's like 1 and 2, single and double A, and then it flips back again. So that kind of not everybody has a shot at Acrisure, but it's not punishing the bigger schools.
Yeah. But like so how did Norwin get this? Why are they the Whitfield champion spot? Like they have a great stadium? I've never been, but
I think it's okay. It's an okay stadium.
Yeah.
It's stellar. I think it has a large capacity.
Okay.
But I think that the stadium itself is old. The field's fine. It's a turf field. It's nothing like any other. It's nothing different than any other field. But I think they do have a large seating capacity, which may factor in. But I know the stadium itself's old. In fact, there's we live out here. The local talk is, I think it was $30 million to build a new stadium or something like that, or they're going to redo the whole thing. And I think they're actually going to start doing that in the next year or 2.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to tear it down and have a new one just because it's old.
Well, especially if that's going to be the new second home to the Whitfields. Like, I mean, they probably want to update that a little bit.
Sure. Maybe they can kick in a few bucks and save me my tax dollars.
Yes, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Coach Tom, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
How are you?
I figured it out. Right going on.
All right.
Excellent.
Let's
go.
We're gonna get you a proper introduction here. We'll get you a little round of applause. This is for those of you that don't know. This is Coach Tom Smith, who is our defensive back coach for the 1994 state championship team. So welcome to the show, Coach Tom Smith. Coach, now Bill and I were talking before you got on. Are you still coaching the D-backs? Like, is that your current role?
Yeah, well, I actually do the defensive coordinating and coach the perimeter people.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Excellent. How long have you been doing that, Coach?
Pardon me?
How long have you been doing that?
Probably about 5 years.
Okay. You've had some great talent come through in the last 5, 10 years too.
Yes.
So, well, we got one more guest coming on, but before he comes on, and since you were one of our coaches, I want to ask you. I mean, everybody remembers the state championship game. I mean, it's it stands out there. But what's something about our team that you think about when you think of our '94 team that maybe other people wouldn't even think about? It's something that was special to you, or some specific memory that you have of our team.
Well, it started, I think we went to Cal State for camp.
Yep.
And I believe it was the first week was 2-a-days at home.
Uh-huh.
And at that time, we weren't two platooning yet. We were still, I coached split ends.
Uh-huh.
And then we went to camp, and then Coach Smith decided to two platoon. So once we got to camp, I can remember the first day with pouring down rain. You guys probably remember that.
Yep.
And it was well, I don't even know if we ran the hill that week, that first.
Yeah, we definitely did. There's a lot of people.
Oh, we did.
Yep.
And then every day at camp, I just go defense.
All right.
Then after that was something about the team. I don't know if it was the leadership of a few seniors or whatever. And I still use this today. I talk to these kids today when I tell them about playing full speed in practice. I call it game speed. Once they get that, then there's Coach Matt. I can see him.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
Well, that team did. That team went full speed all the time in practice, so they were easy to coach.
Awesome. Coach Matt Miller, head coach of the McKeesport Tigers. Welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Hey, Coach.
You know, while doing that. You guys are making a little history on our show. The first two guests who weren't actual players from the '94 team, so there's gonna be a lot of jealous people out there. We've got some people that are not.
Well, Matt was close. You were close. So 92, right? 91.
Yeah, 92. I was on 91 season. Yeah. Yeah. These are the young guys.
For history.
Yes.
Might be, right?
It's the second. Yeah, debatable. It's the second best team I think in McKeesport history from record states.
Well, thank you guys for both taking some time to talk with us tonight. We were asking Coach Tom about what he remembered about our team. Coach Matt, since we got you, and we want to first wish you good luck this week against Bell Vernon.
Yep.
It's not going to be an easy game. So we can get your thoughts on what do you think about this week's matchup?
Yeah, like you said, they're pretty familiar with us. So that's never great when you're running triple option. You always like to get somebody by surprise, someone that thinks they know what it looks like, knows what it's about, and then they line up in something that's real easy for us to counter. With these guys, they've been practicing against us since probably March. So it makes it a little bit more challenging for us offensively to move the ball against a team that's been working on you for these guys for a couple of years.
So they were your first win of the season. Like you guys, we talked about this on the show. So we've been following you all season, bringing some past players on. It was like going off to like a 0-3 start this year. And talk to us a little bit about that. Like how does that feel? What was the feel of the team that started at the start of the season? Those first 3 games, because Bell Vernon's your first win of the year, week 4. What was the kind of feel of the team going into that week? Getting that win, like what was going on in the mindset of everyone?
Well, I think it goes back to, one thing I remember most was our seniors, being able to talk to those guys coming off the field after a couple of those really difficult losses and kind of telling them, hey, we're going to be good. We're just not good yet. And those guys really buying into it because, you don't want to lose the locker room. You don't want these guys, second guessing anything, but, they were the ones that really held it together. And then when we came out and beat Bell Vernon, it kind of solidified that what we were saying was true, and that we saw a little bit of a glimpse of what we could possibly be. And right now, we're starting to play our best football.
Yeah, awesome. Agreed. Coach Tom, I want to come back to you. We kind of cut a little bit with, sorry, because Matt logged on. And you were just talking about, playing game speed, and that's something you guys still preach, like now, that game speed in practice.
In practice. The 94 team did it all the time. And of course, 2005 team did it. And it's and the better players that played all those years were playing at that level in practice. It's so important to go that speed in practice.
Practice like you play.
Yeah,
Right?
that's it.
Both coaches, either one of you guys can answer this. So like, it's obviously different from your side of the ball, from the story that we're hearing from the player side of the ball. So everybody has like memorable things from like practice or something. We've had some guys come on and they like remember like, oh, this hit I took at practice. Like as coaches, do you guys ever like after a practice, do you guys like ever get together and like, oh, did you see Libertor get lit up on that? Like, do you guys like go off and like as coaches like talk about stuff that we're like reliving and talking about? Like, do you guys
Same old stuff all these years. Can I ask Bill a question?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Bill, what happened with that pass up in Erie?
Oh, good question. So
That
was a dime. What are you talking about? That was a dime.
it dropped you right in, Coach. I don't know what you're talking about.
no, I think it slipped. It was a wet night, and you might have had some pressure on you there.
No, no pressure. Maybe mental pressure. No, it didn't get tipped. No pressure. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. We put Jermaine out at split end, and he's in our team. And in my mind, I was just thinking, you got to throw this as far as you could possibly throw it, because he's fast enough. I don't want him to wait for it, so I'm gonna let him run under it. And he was getting doubled.
Okay.
In doing so, I don't know if I squeezed the crap out of it. It's like, and maybe it did like slip off, or I tried to throw a curveball, but I tried to throw it as hard as I could. And because I tried to do that and just not throw a normal pass, it came out of my hand terribly and fluttered up, and their D-backs fell down, and we'll take 6 to the house.
Yeah.
So dumb luck, but because Drew was out there, I tried to overcompensate for his speed. I mean, maybe if I just throw it normal, it's picked off. So maybe by putting him out there, it worked out to our advantage in a weird way.
Well, we didn't
That was
throw
the first ever back shoulder throw.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna start using that. Thanks, man. Thanks, Joe.
See, that was a better answer. The back.
That's right. Back shoulder him. What do you mean? What's wrong with it?
Yeah. Going back to your statement about the practices, you do. I mean, you come in and you see somebody that gets hit, or somebody makes an amazing catch or something. You'll come in and talk about it, but it doesn't stick with you like when you played. Like the stories you have when you played, and the camaraderie that you have with your guys, and maybe you got one up on somebody and you still let them hear about it every week when you see them or whatever. But yeah, most of the time we're too busy trying to make corrections that we don't live on the the one little play. But we do talk about some of the memorable things, the exciting plays or the big hits. But for the most part, we're kind of getting prepared for the next practice.
So, like you guys were talking about, like, big hits practice, like you might not catch everything. And I'm just curious, in my mind, for both you coaches, I mean, everybody, we know the big names. I mean, Khalid Hudson, Brandon Short, Russell Stewbones, everybody knows those. Who are like some of the players that you guys remember that stood out to you that maybe didn't go to college, maybe didn't make the NFL, but were just great high school players?
That's you, Coach Tom. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, since I've been there a long time, I had to think about it. 2005, a defensive end, was a basketball player. You remember his name, Coach Matt?
Coach Wheaton.
Wheaton, yeah. Yeah. He was one. I always remember the guys that maybe don't start to play hard on the scout team, because we do appreciate that. When you see someone like that, not to mention any names, but there was a lot of them out there that would only get in if the game was a blowout, and but they came every day and did what they were supposed to do, and went full speed. And I don't want to mention too many names, but there were a bunch of them.
Shout out scout team.
Yeah.
We had our guests earlier in the season, was a scout teamer and worked hard and kind of loved it. Had a lot of fun stories. So
That's we kind of talked about that on one of the episodes. Was that like as you mentioned, Coach Tom? Like we went 2 platoons, so like our scouts. I mean, our practice was like first teamers going against first teamers.
Yes,
They were
it was. Yeah.
go full speed. So it's like you had some guys hopping in there. Like I remember there was every once in a while I had to play like whoever the starting quarterback was that week. It's like, hey, you're Casper, right? You know, like if you're so like you play that. But, like our line was like our front line going against the line, D backs going against receivers. It was
Right.
tough.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's a
Good, man.
luxury. I mean, when you're able to get that type of competition every day, you know, it makes you guys so much better. You know, I think I said the line before. You know, iron sharpens iron. You know, when you get ones on ones, we do sessions like that in practice where we try to get our best on best. Still today, we just try not to do it for 40 plays, but you know, just trying to get our best guys against each other, just to try to make sure that we're getting the best look possible.
and I apologize. We usually start our show where we talk directly about you guys, and we just got caught up, and we were excited to get you guys on. So, Coach Tom, you were our first guest. So, and this is gonna take you. We're gonna go way back, but after you graduated from McKeesport, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So after you graduated from McKeesport High School, did you play football anywhere in college, or
I
did you
did.
go?
No, I went out and made money right away.
That's a good thing too.
Worked
And
in
then
the mill.
okay, so that's what we were gonna ask. What did you do after you got out of McKeesport High School, and what brought you to the point where you're coaching now? Still,
Guy by the name of Lou Washowitz, coach Little Tigers,
Yep.
asked me. I was 21 years old to coach with a gentleman by the name of Ducky Gilmore, and so I went with him for 2 years, and then that was the middle team. They just started a middle team then. And then I took over the middle team for 4 years. And then after that, I went with Joe Catalina. I don't know if you guys remember Joe Catalina.
Yep.
He was the head ninth grade coach. That's back when 2 schools had to combine. And then he became principal. And then probably somewhere in the early 80s, I went to JVs. And my first varsity secondary job was 1990.
nice.
Still there.
And we were real happy about that too.
Yeah.
It worked out really well for our team.
For all of us. Yep.
Well, there was great athletes there.
Absolutely, Coach Matt. After
sir.
you graduated from, what was your path to coach to getting where you're at now today?
I ended up going to Point Park College. Played baseball and basketball there, and then when I graduated, I came back and there was a middle school job opened up. Coach Smith gave me an opportunity to coach. I coached football and baseball for a couple of years. I became the head baseball coach in '04. Gave it up about a year or two later, and then started coaching varsity football probably around 2001, and they got the head job in 2016. But only spent 2 years, 1 year not coaching, and then 1 year at Hempfield, and then I've been at McKeesport for almost predominantly my whole career.
And I think we're real happy with that as well too, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt, being a player, playing on that '91 team, as we mentioned, probably the second best team in East history. Did you ever imagine like you'd be sitting here, like you'd have the reins? Like I mean, like you're out there playing for Coach Smith. Like, did it ever strike you like, man, I'm going to be the coach one day? Like, did you ever have that, like when you were playing, or ever thought like I want to be the coach? Was that ever in your mind?
Never. I never wanted to be a head coach. I wanted to maybe be a defensive coordinator. I thought that would be a real cool job, but didn't really have too many aspirations to being a head coach. I mean, obviously, it's a position that I hold in regard. I take it very, very seriously, but not until probably like the last 10 years or 11 years it's been that I've ever even thought about being a head coach. I love the game. I love the strategy of it. I love the camaraderie of coaches and being around the kids. But I kind of thought being a defensive coordinator, my dad did that. I kind of thought that would be what I'd do, kind of follow in his footsteps. And, there's a lot of politicking and shaking hands, kissing babies type of stuff that comes along with being a head coach that sometimes, you wish you'd just rather look at the X's and O's sometimes.
No doubt. And Coach Matt, we asked Coach Tom earlier, and I mean, your brother obviously played on our team, and this kind of shows we based it off of, getting back in touch with our team. So I assume you caught some games. You were pretty local. You were Point Park. What do you remember from our state championship run? Anything that sticks out to you? I mean, besides the state championship, everybody kind of remembers that. But any little nuances that maybe, from your perspective that stood out to you?
Your defense. I mean, I actually worked Eric Smith, Coach Thomas' son. I used to go to a lot of games with him, and I remember driving up to the Kiski game, driving up to the Erie game with him. But the defense was just so stellar. I mean, they wouldn't get yards. I mean, it would be unbelievable. Just teams would go backwards, and obviously the game at Latrobe where you guys beat Connellsville, the pitch. Brandon scooping and scoring. I came straight from IUP to get there, and just so many memorable games. I mean, it was like the first time ever that I expected to win at McKeesport. We always felt like we were going to be tougher than you, but we couldn't ever get over the hump. 94, we got over the hump, and it's like we've been a really great football program since then.
Yeah, I would agree. Coach Tom, was there any point in that season where you just kind of knew it was like meant to be? Was there ever like a turning point where, like, I mean, yeah, we were good, we came out, we we're doing like all these things. Was there ever a point in that season where you're like, as a coach, like, yeah, we have it, like we have everything, this is ours to take? Like, did you ever get a feeling at any point in the season? Was there a certain point?
There was tough game. Penn Hill. Penn Hills they were young, they were juniors. I think they won it the next year, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah. Penn Hills game, maybe things weren't going what we expected or was planning on, but I want to say it was Jermaine that ran a counter, or was it a pitch, Matt? Do you remember?
It was a double dive.
Oh, it was a double dive.
Ooh.
Okay. When he broke, and after that game, kind of had the feeling we were going to go.
Yep. Fun fact on that play, they called it in, and all week we ran it to the tight end side every time for the blocking scheme the way it was lined up. And I don't know if it was an error or if you guys saw something and made an adjustment. They ran it to the split end side on that play that he scored on. So I don't know if it was a strategic thing or if it was, again, dumb luck. But I was actually thinking, man, should I call timeout here? I was like, you know what? You don't mess with Coach X or Coach Smith. Just run it. What they call and
yeah. I can't comment that. I was always on the defensive phones with Coach Ivan. But
right.
Yeah.
But you know what? The double dive usually goes to the tight end side. So I mean, that's a midline.
Yeah.
That's a midline play. So that usually goes to the three.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it just works.
And that was, I think, like I said, again, the dumb luck thing where, could have messed it up. Like, I was like, seriously, in my mind, I'm like, man, should I call timeout? We don't want to lose yards. There's like 2 minutes left in the game. I was like, no, there has to be a reason why they called this. Just run it. And maybe there was, maybe there wasn't, but it worked.
Hey, Billy, I know this is your show, but if you run it to the split end side, it's a definite give to Drew. So they might not want it. They might want to keep it that way. Make sure to get it the ball to Droop and definite disconnect and hand it off. So
it worked.
Yeah.
Don't give Bill the option. They're like, no option.
Yeah.
It has to hand.
Take that away. Yeah, it's a definite second. Give it to the second guy through.
Well, I'm very comfortable with that, especially when Droop and Glenn were in the backfield.
Yeah.
That's my role. Trust me, getting the ball was my role. I was very comfortable.
Yeah, but we had two dynamic guys back there. But I have to say, I mean, you guys have a handful of running backs like in your backfield. We've been going over the stats each week, and I just saw the one. I think Keemon Spell put up like 310 yards last week, something
all
like that.
All purpose, yeah, all purpose. He had 175 rushing and whatever the rest was, another
like
whatever,
or something like
138 receiving. Yeah, so. Yeah, and like you said, there's multiple guys. I mean, Anthony Cromery has, I think, 14 touchdowns on the year. Then you have Valdez Stuvons, you have Anthony Boyd. Boyd last year had, I think, 13 touchdowns last year. So, just trying to get the ball to so many different guys, but it's nice whenever they can't key on just one person. We're able to, get the ball to a lot of different guys.
I'm an offensive guy, obviously. I know Keelan got his 1,000 last week, right?
Yes.
Is anybody else close? Anybody on the doorstep?
No, most of the guys are in the like around the 500 range.
Okay.
So it's a lot harder now to get those big yards. Back when we played, there was no mercy rule, so
Right.
now you're like teams where you could really rack up some yards when you're scoring 50 points. You're pulling those guys out at the beginning of the third quarter, to try to get the other guys reps. So back in the day, we used to be able to ride them for another quarter, and they could really accumulate some yards. And now it's, now we just try to spread it around to see how many touches we can get to everybody, not really trying to score or, accumulate yards.
Gotcha. When did mercy rule come in, Matt? I don't.
Oof, Coach Tom. I mean, that would have been back
Wow.
probably early 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, it definitely changed the game. I mean, you once you get that clock rolling, there's no way you're coming back from it.
Right.
But but you turn around and fourth quarter started. It's really hard to get guys in the game and get them some meaningful reps sometimes because of that rule.
We've talked to a number of players about just like pregame routines, like things like that, how you get mentally prepared for the games, whether it was superstition or things like that. As a coach, how do you guys prepare like that game day? Like take us through like just what's your game day leading up to the game, like whether it's from home, prepping, getting ready for the game, meal, is there anything that you do?
It's terrible. I absolutely hate game day. Every week I say, why am I doing this? I get so nervous. I can't eat. Yeah. So I mean, it's hard because, you're counting on a bunch of people, even yourself, you're nervous about making the right calls, but there's so many factors that go into it. But yeah, most of my game day is just looking at my watch and trying to get it to at least pregame. Pregame, at least you can get some of those jitters out. But yeah, no meal because I barely eat before the game, which means by halftime I'm starving. And but yeah, I mean, nothing really from my end that I do anything special except ponder every possible scenario, drive myself crazy.
No superstitions, no like set of socks you wear every week or nothing crazy like that.
Yeah, I usually end up wearing the same gear the whole
Yeah.
time. Yeah, that's the baseball guy in me. I have a lot of little superstitions. I would be wearing my black T-shirt on Friday night. If it's cold, I'll have a hoodie on underneath it. But yeah, that'll be that. I'll have that and a pair of Nike shoes that hurt my feet. But we've won 5 in a row with me wearing them, so I'll be limping around by the third quarter and I'm on my feet. So yeah.
Coach Tom?
Yeah, nothing special. Just the same routine for a while now. Different clothes, though. Don't matter, mate. I've been doing this too long.
Right.
Too long to be superstitious.
He has all the worries, not me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, here's a hypothetical for you, Matt. All right, so this is a hypothetical situation. Let's say you have a junior quarterback. He's doing really well, leading your football team. His best friend's like a senior wide receiver. This is all hypothetical situation. You're 9-0. You're going into the last game of the season. He hasn't caught a pass all year. Like, he's your starting quarterback. He decides to call an audible to get his buddy just one catch for the year. Like, do you yank him? Do you ream him out? Like, do you think it's honorable? Like, just hypothetical. Like, what would you do?
So the question is, should he throw you the ball on? You broke up a little bit. I'm sorry. I know who the
Asking for a friend.
one. Yeah, I know a guy.
I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy. Yeah, you gotta throw him the ball. You gotta throw him the ball.
Right. Right? It's an audible, anything. I mean, come on.
Listen,
Play.
no offense, Matt, but I think Coach George and Coach X are a little scarier than you are.
Trust me, there's no way in the world I'd have done it. Me and Humphreys and I look so much alike, and my practice jersey was number 3. And every week the conversation would I go over and take the offensive call, like run in the huddle and try to call one offensive play every week we were going to do it, and both of us chickened out every week. So yeah, there's no way in a game I would have audibled in any play. But yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't even run the audible in practice, let alone on Friday night. So
Man, he backpedaled out. You got him out. Wait.
I like see there's different circumstances. Coach Tom, you're on the staff. If I start calling my own plays out there, what do you think would have happened to me?
You'd been in trouble.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. I'm not trying to run. I'm not trying to lose my job. Well, that was the other thing with our team. Like, we had so many good players that if you didn't do what you were supposed to do, somebody else played.
I was saying,
Yep.
yeah, get ready.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Ben running a 4-3 behind me. At least I
Yeah,
was a little taller.
yeah,
Why did that
yeah.
happen?
You would have been.
No, I was too scared. That's what Justin always makes fun of me because he was like, you could have audible got me one pass.
I
And
figured
at the time,
yeah.
yeah, I was like, Josh, I'm not trying to lose my job. I'm not trying to get yelled at. I'm not trying to run.
I just always talk to people like about being like state champions, wide receiver, things like that. They're like, oh, it's catching touchdowns. I was like, nope. They're like, how many passes? How many yards? I'm like, oh, nope, didn't catch a pass. I said, we blocked really well. They're like, we're
Yeah.
the best blocking. I said, we weren't even called a wide receiver. We were called a split end. Like,
Yeah.
receiver wasn't even in the word. The title.
Yeah.
It was a split end. We named like receiving wasn't a category for us. So. Take the ring and take the medals. It doesn't.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So with Matt on the line, Coach Tom, I'm going to put you on the spot. I want you to tell me, and I'm not, no disrespect to any of the other McKeesport teams, because, we all are supportive of McKeesport. We all the Tiger Bride. Who are your top 3 teams in McKeesport history? How would you rank them, or top 5?
Yeah. Well, obviously the 94, 2005, that's easy. Matt's senior year was a good team. That was let's see if I get everybody. Chavis.
Yep.
And of course Logan and Grayson. And that was a special team there.
Matt, Ward.
Matt's first year had a heck of a team. Went down and lost to West Allegheny.
Okay.
That was a heck of a team there. That was Shears at quarterback and some nice linemen we had that year. Putting 1 through 5, that's tough.
No, I don't want to put you on too much of the spot. I just because of Matt and Jared, Justin and his brother Derek.
Right. Yeah.
Dennis Ross. I talked to Dennis a lot. Mano, and our running jokes with Ty and Keelan. We kind of have this little rivalry, and feel bad for the 2005 team, but we always say like, well, we're the best team, and Matt, your team was you're the second best team. We'll give you that, but not to take anything away from the 05 team. But you guys are fun talent. 2,000-yard backs, Chase linebacker, D, Matt, George, Grayson. Just a stacked team. They wouldn't have watered that field down, Matt.
That was amazing. I couldn't believe it when I walked out on that field. I put my foot on the grass and water just went right over top of my foot. I just never forgot that. So
Yep.
cold, wet night.
Claire till this day.
Yeah, that began the hatred of Upper St. Clair, I think, for us.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like some like others who were on like Keelan and people were talking about like we were up in the stands like crying. We were like upset because we thought you guys were we were in middle school or just getting into high school. We thought you guys were going to win the Whitfield State Championship this year.
It was that fun to watch. One, having a bigger brother playing, like, it was cool to see, like, watch Derek play. But just, it felt that, like, you guys were that good. You guys were that dominant to watch. It just felt like it felt like it was meant to be for you guys, like, just watching. Just thought you guys were that.
Yeah, it was
second.
weird. Like, we kind of like, we felt that way too. And then when it was over, it was like somebody died. It was like, we just got taken away so quickly. So yeah, it was,
Right.
like I said, it was a great experience, and probably why, I'm here, now because of such a great experience that I went through.
And you were an outside linebacker, right, Matt, on that team?
Yeah. Yep. Outside linebacker.
Gotcha. 21?
21. Yep.
Why 21?
Honestly, I watched the year before. I'd seen USC play, and they had this safety come down, and I was like, "Oh man, that looked cool." So some safety, never got his name, but I thought he looked cool in 21. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get that number." So that was the only reason.
All right. And if there was like Clemente because you have some baseball roots or anything, or
No, nothing like that. Just saw a guy from USC. I used to watch Rodney Peete play a lot for USC, and or somebody on defense, and I was like, "Oh, that looks kind of cool." He's 21. That's why I took it.
one. Cool.
Coach Tom, what was your number in high school?
23.
23.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What did
Any
you
reason?
My dad.
play? What position did you
Go
play,
ahead.
Coach?
Oh, what position?
Yeah.
A strong safety and what they call a slot. And his
My
dad,
dad coached him.
Wow.
that's old.
How old your dad is, Matt? I don't.
Yeah, that's really how old my dad is. Yeah.
Now, with Coach George, did you guys have like a civil like rivalry growing up or anything, or
No,
Coach?
he was when I was in high school, he was in college. But later on we became more friends than rivalries.
What do you got? 5 years apart?
No, 4.
4.
Yeah. So I was probably a freshman when he was a senior, maybe.
And when did you graduate?
Watch him play down there, and we
Yeah.
became friends.
Nice.
Now, Matt, you're talking a little bit about like that feeling of that getting pulled away from you in that game. Like, you had that feeling you guys were going. Like, do you share that kind of stuff with your team now? Like, as coach, you pull those memories. Do you like help these guys understand like how quickly this can go away? Is that some of like the motivation, some of the stuff you use to keep them going?
Oh yeah, definitely. I tell the story all the time. I remember my senior year was blazing hot during home camp. My head's pounding, and I remember Coach Smith saying it's going to be November before you know it. And I remember saying under my breath, "Man, I wish it was November. I'm miserable." And then crying like a baby when it was over. So I tell them guys all the time, goes fast, enjoy every second of it, enjoy the practices, enjoy the meetings, enjoy the time in the locker room, because it's going to be over, and you're going to, you give anything to be able to go out one more time. So, I always try to express, the finality of that last game. And, so I try to express that so they can, at least enjoy it while it's here as much as they can.
And you guys are how many seniors, Matt? I know you guys are a young team, but how many seniors are you gonna be losing?
I think we're probably around 15, 16, somewhere around there. I don't know the exact number. Yes, but a lot of them guys playing a lot of key positions. You got a lot of starters in the backfield and in our skill spots. We're real young up front on the line, but our skills, a veteran group.
Talk about like the history of the Tigers, and Bill saying, we follow all the teams. We're following the team. We're Tiger Pride, that kind of thing. When we had that reunion game, that 30th, the team got to come out on the field. Like, that was a pretty cool experience for us. Do you talk any of that to your team? Like the importance of that, like the importance of the team that came before? Like, was there anything in that moment that you share with them? Like, hey, this could be you guys one day. Like, this is 30 years since they played. Any of that kind of talk with them?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you talk about, you guys and what you guys were able to accomplish, and, how important it is to our community. We're recognizing a group of guys that did something 30 years ago. And showing that, there's a lot of staying power with that, and notoriety. But it was kind of wild because that week there was so much talk around school that they were celebrating this, that I had, 2 kids coming down arguing on the football team. And they came to me to decide who was better, 21 or 22. And I'm like, who are you talking about? And they're like, 21 and 22 on the 94 team. We were watching all their highlight videos and stuff. And I just thought it was kind of cool. It made them kind of look at the history a little bit. And it was kind of a conversation I didn't think I was going to have with anybody, about who's better, 21 or 22. But I thought it was kind of a neat little thing that they said.
That's awesome.
Do we put you on the spot and say, who did you pick?
You could put me on the spot. I will give you the political answer. And I said, you can't go wrong with either one of them.
I think Troop was more speed and Glenn had a little more power. But I think they were both phenomenal.
Thunder and
Yeah,
Lightning. Yeah.
They were great for each other. You know, one gave you one and one gave you the other. No one's going to turn down either of them. That's for sure.
I don't know if you guys listened to. So we had Glenn on the show a month ago, and he was telling us, he was like, him and Jermaine were like arguing, like, Glenn's like, every time I score, I got to run like 3 people over to get in the end zone. He's like, you score. He's like, you're just trotting down the field like a gazelle with nobody 20 yards behind you. He's like, all your touchdowns were easy. He's like, I had to earn all my touchdowns. Rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of times he made those guys miss him, and then he outran everybody. So
Right.
yeah.
Actually,
Yeah. It wasn't just the speed; he had the moves too.
Oh
Right.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
well, I'm keeping with Coach Tom. Your nephew Casey, right? I mean, he was ended up being a starting fullback by the end of the year, and did a great job too. Had like 500 yards rushing himself.
Yeah, that was a surprise. That was, but he earned it.
Absolutely. There were some injuries, and
You got to have that relationship with the quarterback. And you know that, Bill.
absolutely. I mean, happy to have him back there.
Yeah, you had a lot of good options back there, Isber. So don't
Oh,
sell
no,
yourself short. You weren't too shabby either, Isber. Don't sell yourself short. You weren't too shabby as a runner.
I appreciate that, but I consider myself the 4th option there.
That read in the championship game was good.
I appreciate it, and I think that was an easy one for the fact that I think Downingtown's coach knew who to take away too. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna let this junior quarterback beat us if we're gonna let anybody beat us." And so he made it easy for me. But our big gun tried to take our big guns, and hopefully it worked. Well, it did work out. So
Dude.
well, I don't want to keep you guys too much time. I know you guys got some prep and everything. We definitely wish you guys luck this Friday. We'll be cheering for you, and hopefully we'll be down. It's at Norwood, right? Lebo, you were saying?
Yeah. It'll be Norwood in the championship. That's a little crazy.
So if you guys get that
that's
far,
real nice.
maybe right in your backyard.
Yeah. We've done enough traveling this year. We don't need to do any more longer bus trips, so we're good for a while. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys again.
Well, thank you.
All right, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
See you
We
guys
appreciate
soon.
it. Best of luck, guys. Yep.
Thank you. See you later.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, guys. It's good. So great catching up with those guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. The old and the new coming together with the current team and the past team. That was great.
Absolutely. I mean, well, Coach Tom's been coaching for the last 30 years, 30 plus, 40 years maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I mean, right. Like, so he said he was 9. He came in
90.
90. Yeah, because I think it was the year right before my brother's team. I think said that, and he said, so I mean, yeah, that's 40-ish years. My math's not great. Yeah,
Nope.
it's over 30.
It's over 30. Over 30 years.
We're the 30th. He came in, and we're 94. Now that's like 33 years. 33 years.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, he's a great guy. I'd like to really pick his brain another time on, some of the history of the teams, everything, and maybe this isn't the right venue. Maybe some beers involved, but
Right.
I'm sure he's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah,
and it was great catching up with him.
Yeah,
good seeing Matt too. We wish him, like I said, the best of luck this week.
Yeah, I when Coach was talking about Matt's first team that he coached was one of the best ones, the West A team they lost. I think we were down at that. Were we down that game?
I think we were.
That was that one where I want to say it was like a day game. Like it started out like we went down like early. There was like a game before that maybe that we went down like midday, and then was that the one where they like jumped off sides for the field goal at the end or something? There was something like went to try to block a field goal and jumped off sides, and we got to move like 10 yards closer or got the first down. There was something crazy that like happened at the end of the game that caused that loss.
Yeah.
I feel like that's it.
I think you're right. I don't remember what it was that happened.
Yeah,
but
I feel like it was that. But I remember going down that game. I can't believe that was his first team.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. For some reason, I was thinking that was he was like 3-4 years into being the head coach.
Right.
I just didn't put it together. But yeah, I mean, just some great players that could come through.
Yeah.
Trivia question for you. I'm sure you're gonna know the answer.
Oh, put me on the spot.
Which team in the Whippeal has sent the most players to the NFL?
Which
In the history of the Whippeal.
history of the Whitfields?
Yes.
Which team has sent the most players to the NFL?
Yes.
Is it bad that I want to say Upper St. Clair?
You'd be wrong.
Woodland Hills?
No.
No? McKeesport?
Yes.
No, really?
Yeah.
How many?
I think it's 14 or 15,
What? That many?
not including Khalif.
Really?
Well, and the second team that we that trails us is actually Monessen, and they're at like 13 or 14. So we were like one off, and then with Khalif going, we have like a 2-person lead
Wow.
now.
I would not have guessed that.
It's Googleable.
Well, yes. I'm sure.
So, if you're, for our fact checkers out there,
Okay. How many can you name?
probably 4.
What are you?
Yes. Yeah. Khalif, Brandon, Russell Stuvance, Mike Logan.
Yeah.
5. Brandon, Khalif, Logan, Stuvance.
Two.
Jackson. His last name's Jackson. Played for Seattle. Can't think of his first name. It's my 5.
I'm pretty sure my Uncle Frank Libertor played for the Washington Redskins.
I'm sure he's one of them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, he is. Yeah. He's probably
Yes.
on that list. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm trying to think of who were the 2 brother. I can't think of. One that went to West Virginia. He was like big back like in our
Oh, Browns.
Browns. Did either of them ever play in the NFL?
I don't know if this counts or not. I know Tim.
Tim was the big one from like went to West Virginia, right? I think
Yes.
him and Jim, right?
He was on the Saints. He was invited to Saints camp. I don't know if the criteria is you have to get in like a regular season game. I don't think he ever
Give him a
played.
team, right? Like you probably have that
Right.
contract, I would think, like to make
Yes.
the technical. Like,
Correct. So I don't think he ever officially made an NFL team, but he had some trial.
Yeah.
For some where he played. That's pretty sure that's the last I or at least from what I remember.
good trivia. I'll just look those up.
Yes. Good trivia. Because Woodland Hills had a lot recently.
Yeah.
I think they're in like the 9-10 range.
Yeah.
So that was like Gronk,
Right.
like Steve Weston. So they're more like we had a lot like your uncle probably was what in the 40s or 50s.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, we had like 5, 6, 7 in that at that time frame.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple recently, but not a ton.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Fun fact. We're an NFL factory.
I mean, put that on our T-shirt.
Right.
Don't sleep on McKeesport, the NFL factory.
Yes. We'll put it at the bottom.
But wait at the bottom. Or on the back. You can put it on the back.
It's true. You have to turn around.
Yeah. True. Right.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Cool. Well, I was a good talking to those 2 guys for sure.
Glad we had both guests show up too. Hopefully our fans of the show were happy with the guests that we had and looking forward to another great guest next week. So.
It will be a single guest next week, I believe.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Yep. I think we're booked. We're on the calendar.
Yeah.
So I feel good about that. Just see if he has a guest with him.
True.
So.
And then I mean, we'll keep rolling this through the playoffs. So hopefully we keep getting wins so we can keep going. Like I said, the playoffs are short, but we have some people lined up that we can carry this through the playoffs.
For sure.
We got the states too. Like so, with the Whitfields, we still got the states. We got some more.
We can go 5 more weeks if we got to.
Right, I agree. We got plenty. We got plenty of material. Yes.
Plenty of guests. We're fine.
Other food and movies to talk about. I mean, there's plenty that we.
Well, I need to talk
We didn't even talk about food or movies this time. Can you believe it? And then
Right.
shot. We'll table that for next week.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it'll be after Halloween. It'll be. It'll be after some other November birthday. All kind of things.
Well, birthday.
Yeah, that's fine.
48.
Yes, 48. You're getting old.
I'm on 47. I'm like a young
You're-
dry chick.
You're as old as me right now.
It's true.
We're the same age exactly.
Same age.
Yep, exactly. All right, man. Well, let's get a cheers to 30 years.
I like it. Cheers to 30 years.
All right, buddy. And all of our listeners, don't forget to like and subscribe to our show. And hopefully you'll listen next Friday at 5:44 when our new episode drops.